welcome here. My name's Rick Moronco. I'm the Vice President of Business Operations for the Ontario Junior Hockey League. I'd like to introduce our host for tonight, Corey Warren.
Thanks, Rick. Hard to believe that it's already been a year since the very first ceremony that we held for the Hall of Fame at last year's Centennial Cup, and it's great to be back. And congratulations to the Trenton Golden Hawks on their Buckland Cup championship and making it back to the Centennial Cup in Calgary this year as the OJHL tries to make it back-to-back national championships. It's been another great year for the OJHL. Before we get going, we want to thank our sponsors and the people who have supported this Hall of Fame announcement today. Baron Rings, the OJHL, and our host today, the Hilton Garden Inn, Toronto, Oakville. So, as I mentioned just a moment ago, it was a year ago when this Hall of Fame was first established. And when Rick Moronco walked us through the pages of the website before it went live, it was really apparent that this was a labor of love for Rick. You know, the vision of virtual Hall of Fame that was open and accessible everywhere, all corners of the world at all time, a virtual Hall of Fame that would be established to honor and preserve the great athletes and the great individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the OJHL and the leagues that were there in the very beginning right up until today. So this Digital Hall of Fame is a place to honor the league's all-time leaders, the award winners, the champions from the past, a place to celebrate the OJHL's excellence, past, present, and future. 5 inductees were honored last year, and so this year the hall will double in size with 5 more amazing individuals for the class of 2025. And before we meet this afternoon's honorees, let's first welcome the commissioner of the OJHL, Marty Savoy, to say a few words. Marty?
Thanks, Corey. Also want to thank Corey. Last year we did this at the Centennial Cup, and Corey was very instrumental. He was part of the host committee. He gave up his time as a volunteer for the host committee, and we put on the national championship there. And talking to the Oakville Blades, they were talking that he was a little upset at Corey because most of his work was done with Collingwood, and Collingwood credits him with the national championship. Corey, all kidding aside, thank you very much for coming out and helping us. On behalf of our 24 teams and all of our governors, we want to welcome all the families and friends that have come here. The Hall of Fame was an idea we had a couple of years ago trying to honor our past. We're a bit of a hybrid. We rebranded the league. Some people remember the league as the OPJHL that I think most of the inductees would have played in. And we're trying to figure out a way to do it. So Rick came up with the idea of trying to do a Hall of Fame or virtual Hall of Fame. What we decided to do was just going to be, we're going to do an announcement, we're going to send names out, we're going to get together. Because we were hosting the Centennial Cup, the national championships, Rick said maybe it'd be a good idea if we brought the families in and whatnot, but we didn't know how it would go over. The response that we had last year was overwhelming. You can see the response in the room. So from moving forward now, every year that we do this, we're going to host families, we're going to come in and just do a celebration of the league. So on behalf of our governors, thank you very much. I also want to thank our selection committee. Rick heads that up. There's individuals from the Hall of Fame, the actual Hockey Hall of Fame that sit on there. There's media that's involved. There's owners from our league that sit there. They get tons of different nominations that come in. So you can nominate somebody from the public. You can nominate somebody, a team could sit, anyone in the room can nominate a player they've played with, and then the selection committee goes through the whole process for us. So we want to thank their time and everything because they're the ones who make the decisions on all of this. One of the secrets of being a commissioner of the league, you do the least amount of decisions that people can yell at you. So I had no input on the nominees, but every one of the nominees are just outstanding nominees for us. Also want to thank all of the families that have come, taking your time. This is such an important thing for us. When we look at, we try to build this league, this is the one great thing about the game of hockey. We always build the game of hockey on the people that have come before us. Last year, we inducted my predecessor, Bob Hooper, who was the commissioner before us. We have some builders and some players here that laid the foundation for the athletes that are in our league now, that are chasing their dreams, and everybody helping them as well. Finally, to all the inductees, thank you for coming. You've had outstanding careers, both within the OJ and outside of the OJ. But again, the families behind you and coming, we just want to thank you for being part of the day. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Marty. Also, too, if you could just kind of stay by so that you can help us with the presentation of the awards. So without further delay, the reason why we're all here, let's meet the class of 2025, beginning with our first inductee.
Steve Novis was a scoring threat every time he stepped on the ice in the Ontario Provincial Junior Hockey League. Novis played in the OPJHL for 4 seasons, from 1974 through 1978 with the Seneca Flyers, which later became the Newmarket Flyers. He won the league scoring championship as a rookie, and over his 4 seasons put up 84, 75, 103, and 86 point campaigns, winning another scoring championship in 1976 and the 1977 League Most Valuable Player Award. A true legend of Ontario Junior A hockey, Steve Novis is a 2025 inductee to the OJHL Hall of Fame.
We appreciate his contributions to the OJHL and the high level of performance and standards that he set back in the original era. Our second inductee in the class of 2025 is a man recognized for his outstanding service to the game and his major contributions to junior A hockey in Ontario.
A pioneer in the Ontario Junior Hockey League, Charlie Macoun was part of the group that founded the Newmarket 87s in the 1987-88 season. Together, Macoun and his partners built a model franchise that would go on to much success, including winning Buckland and Dudley Hewitt Cup titles in 1996, on their way to a semifinal finish at the Centennial Cup. Macoun also lent his expertise to bettering the Ontario Hockey Association. He held several positions with the parent OHA through the years, including time as a director and chairman of the Ontario Provincial Junior Hockey League before it was rebranded as the OJHL. Macoun was also instrumental in the merger of the Metro Junior League and Provincial League, and he served on the Ontario Hockey Federation's Junior Council. He was recognized by the OHA in 2003 with its Gold Stick, which is an Order of Merit in hockey awarded for outstanding service to the game. Charlie and his late wife Margaret raised 3 sons, Jeff, Jamie, and Michael, with Jamie playing for Newmarket and Aurora in the OPJHL before going on to skate in 1,128 games in the National Hockey League. Macoun was renowned for his tenacity in putting quality teams on the ice as much as for caring for the players on his teams. And today, he's one of the newest inductees to the OJHL's Hall of Fame.
Please welcome Charlie's son, OJHL alumnus, and former NHLer Jamie Macoun to accept the award on behalf of his dad.
I noticed in that those pictures I had a lot more hair back then. So, and Gail and Alex, who came in from Collingwood to recognize Charlie as well. Gail was in some of those. Alex was in some of those pictures as well. But I can tell you one thing: growing up with Dad, Charlie was a treat. I mean, I can tell you, he used to work for the Royal Bank, and he actually worked over here at Square One. But we lived in Newmarket, and for like 25 years, he would drive down to Square One, be ready to work, drive back, and then we'd go to hockey or baseball or soccer or something along those lines. And he was it was all about family first. And, all 3 boys had nothing but support. And it wasn't until much later that I realized how much my mom and dad really did contribute to the different sports. And he and Marg and some other couples as well would pitch in those extra dollars when you'd see the kids running around with the jackets in whatever 72 winners of whatever. Unfortunately, back then as it is now, a lot of parents can't afford that. So he was one of those guys that would pitch in and do some extra money. All 3 boys were told to do things a certain way, and that was the right way. We did our best at school, and because of that, we all had an opportunity to have scholarships into in this case the United States. And one of the big mandates that he had when he started up the 87s is he wanted kids that were really good kids to have a chance to progress. And I think every year pretty well, maybe 1 or 2 kids from his 87 team would get a scholarship into the United States. I mean, they didn't have scholarships in Canada at that time for all you young people. And but I can tell you one thing, my dad, he loved hockey. He really couldn't skate, but he loved hockey. And I don't think I saw him on the ice more than twice ever with skates on. But he loved organizing. He was a coach. He was a manager, as you saw there. And he just loved giving back. And with the support of my mom, Margaret, and the support of some of the people, like I said, Alex and Gail that have come in, and other people in Newmarket, we had a great life growing up. And we had some great teams and great opportunities. And literally, you make friends for life when you're in hockey. And in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going golfing with like 7 guys out of Newmarket. And it's just it's stuff that you learn and friends that you have that you never give up on. So anyways, on behalf of the whole Macoun family, Jeff and so all those kids that were yelling, those are all Jeff's grandkids, just so you know. And there's brownies in the back if those kids want them. So, but thank you very much on behalf of the whole family and my brother out in Calgary as well. It's much appreciated, and Charlie would be very proud. Thank you.
Congrats to the Macoun family. With 71 goals and 141 points in the 97-98 season, our next inductee went on to play NCAA hockey before starring in the American Hockey League, where he was inducted into the AHL Hall of Fame. And today, he gets another Hall of Fame ring.
Here's cleared attempt, stays it, Dahlbeck couldn't squeeze it out, opening for Naydar, quick release, he scores! Darren Naydar, the power play with 28 seconds to go!
A Milton boy, born and raised, Darren Naydar was a part of a remarkable Milton Merchants team in the Ontario Provincial Junior Hockey League in the late 1990s. With no Ontario Hockey League teams willing to guarantee him a spot, Naydar would become a superstar on his hometown Merchants, leading the team to Buckland Cup titles in 2 straight seasons and a Centennial Cup berth in 1998. That season saw him rack up an incredible 140 points in just 51 games. From there, it was off to the University of New Hampshire on a scholarship. Naydar would finish with 219 points over his 4 seasons with the Wildcats, 3rd most in school history. Naydar was drafted by the Nashville Predators in the 1999 NHL Draft, and in 2003 was named the AHL's Rookie of the Year after recording 75 points in 75 games for the Milwaukee Admirals. He would go on to become one of the most prolific scorers in AHL history, and to this day holds the streak for longest consecutive point streak at 39 games. He was introduced into the AHL Hall of Fame in 2019. Naydar would also play games in the NHL with Nashville, Atlanta, and Colorado. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2012 while playing in the AHL, Naydar has hosted golf tournaments and hockey games in support of MS awareness. Now 45 years old, he's a real estate agent and mentor to minor hockey players through his 2020 Elite Hockey Program.
One more time for Naydar, between the circles, he scores! A hat-trick for Naydar, and a win for the Wolves!
Darren Naydar, 2025 inductee into the OJHL Hall of Fame.
Please welcome honored member of the class of 2025, Darren Naydar.
Just a little bit. I guess first off, thank you for including me in this. I'm honored to be a part of this Hall of Fame. Thank you to my family for coming. We all, I guess, I'll take this as a credit for myself, but we don't get put in these situations without being on quality teams, and My brother Jeff is here today. He was the captain of the Milton Merchants while we were together there. We were fortunate to go to the Royal Bank Cup in BC, and we were line mates at that point. And then Jeff joined me at University of New Hampshire as well for a couple years before I turned pro. Mom and Dad, I appreciate all the support you've given me over the years. As Jamie just talked about, without your dedication and sacrifice, these things wouldn't be possible. So I thank you for that. And Jamie, I'm not sure where you are. I don't think I've seen my dad skate more than once or twice either. So coming from Africa, that's for him, skating wasn't there. But I don't know anyone who loves hockey more than my dad. So thank you for that. Thank you for the support, Mom, Dad. Very much appreciate it. John, thank you for being here. Coop. And then my little boys here are starting down the path, but trying to keep it real with them, and not overdo it, as I see with a lot of players around. But they're loving the game. Just trying to be mentors for them that Mom and Dad, you were for me. And once again, thank you for including me in this day. Truly honored to be a part of this class.
Congratulations, Aaron. Our next inductee holds the record for most points in a single season in the modern era with 142 in the 95-96 season. He was named the Canadian Junior Hockey League's Player of the Year before going on to play in the NCAA and 3 more seasons in the East Coast Hockey League.
Trent Walford is yet another example of a player that may not have gained a foothold in major junior, but was given a second chance in Junior A hockey and used it as a springboard to success. After brief stints in the OHL, in 1993 the Mississauga native found a home with the Newmarket 87s of what was then called the Ontario Provincial Junior Hockey League, and that's where he blossomed. In 124 games over 3 seasons, Walford amassed 291 points, an astounding 2.25 points per game. His final season was truly something to behold, as he scored 52 goals and assisted on 90 others for 142 points in 50 games to go along with 156 penalty minutes. That point total remains a modern era record for a single season in the OJHL. That season, he led the 87s to the Buckland and Dudley Hewitt Cup championships, and they advanced all the way to the Centennial Cup semifinals. For his efforts, Walford was selected as the Canadian Junior Hockey League's Player of the Year. Following that, he played 3 seasons of NCAA Division I hockey with the Lake Superior State Lakers and parts of 3 more seasons in the ECHL. Now 48 years of age, Walford is a real estate agent in Las Vegas. Trent Walford, OJHL record holder to this day and a 2025 inductee to the league's Hall of Fame.
Now, Trent could not be here to join us today, but he did send us a video message.
Coming off the Masters, I thought I'd do this in Butler's Cabin, but I'm in Las Vegas, Southern Highlands Golf Course. I first wanted to thank Rick and the committee, the Hockey Hall of Fame committee, for this tremendous honor. It truthfully came out of nowhere, and I didn't know it existed. And I obviously see some of the other names last year, and it's a tremendous honor. I want to say congratulations to the other nominees. In particular, I wanted to the Macoun family. I can't thank them enough. Obviously, they brought us in. My family and I, my brother and I both played at the same time. 3 years in Newmarket, where I was born and raised. It meant a lot to me, obviously, going back to where I had a lot of family. So, to my parents, as a young, or having young kids, I like to say I'm a young parent, but having young kids, I can't imagine what the sacrifice they had to make, and you know, I share this with them. The things they did to me and my two brothers, and obviously the sacrifice my sister had to make with hockey, traveling around and everything else, is really special. So lastly, I want to say to the coaches, you know, Wes Jarvis, I don't want to say I was headed down a wrong path, but what playing for Newmarket and playing junior hockey, what it did to me to change my life, the confidence it gave me, I honestly think, I don't think I'd be standing here today, or, you know, having a family and career and everything else if it wasn't for Newmarket. So to you coaches, I can tell you, I thank you for the sacrifices you make, and I tell you it makes a difference. So thank you again, and it means a lot. Appreciate it.
Please welcome Mr. Dan Nixon to accept the award on Trent's behalf.
To the league, and just one comment, they didn't mention his stats. The year he had 154 points, whatever it was, he had 158 penalty minutes as well.
Trent's father, Dan Nixon, congratulations. And last but certainly not least, our final inductee of the class of 2025 is another great player who took his OPJHL roots and starred at the highest level of the game.
Mike Cammalleri had a career that players in the Ontario Junior Hockey League dream of. The Richmond Hill native starred for the Bramalea Blues in what was then the Ontario Provincial Junior Hockey League for 2 seasons, racking up 189 points in just 89 games. He was the league's Rookie of the Year in the 1998-99 season, helping to lead the Blues to the Buckland Cup title and a berth at the Centennial Cup. The next year, he netted 103 points and secured a scholarship to the University of Michigan. He spent 3 seasons in Ann Arbor under the tutelage of legendary head coach Red Berenson. He was twice named as a CCHA First Team All-Star, and in 2002 at the West Regional Tournament was named both an All-Star and Most Valuable Player as he led Michigan to the Final Four. Cammalleri was taken in the second round by Los Angeles in the 2001 NHL Draft and went on to have a stellar pro career with the Kings, Calgary Flames, Montreal Canadiens, New Jersey Devils, and Edmonton Oilers. Over 15 years in the NHL, Mike put up 642 points in 906 regular season games, and in the postseason was absolutely clutch with 32 points in 32 games. Cammalleri also represented Canada on multiple occasions, suiting up for the World Juniors in 2001 and 2002, and winning gold at the 2007 World Championships. Now enjoying retired life in the GTA, Cammalleri was one of the co-founders of BioSteel Sports Nutrition, and in January was inducted into the Richmond Hill Sports Hall of Fame. And now he's being added to another, as Mike Cammalleri is a 2025 inductee to the Ontario Junior Hockey League Hall of Fame.
Bergeron, the shot blocked. Launches the puck and they score! Mike Cammalleri!
Please welcome honor member of the class of 2025, Mike Cammalleri.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I get emotional with this stuff. You know, even watching the other inductees run into Darren in the hallway. I mean, it's so sentimental. Like, it brings back the battles, Milton, Bramley, just special moments. So congrats to everybody on the inductions and the family connections that we've all had growing up. It's special. As life goes, you know, you don't get many of these moments, and when you have a moment like this today, I just want to appreciate it. So, and thank you to the league for the acknowledgement and recognition. I appreciate that. My dad was here with me today. Yeah, I get emotional. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he brought me to Bramley because he wanted me to go to school and not play in the OHL. So he started bringing me down to universities early on in my life, 13 years old, 12 years old. Bring me down to Michigan State to watch games, and told me that this was the way to go. That the OHL teams were going to come calling, but the best thing for my development as a person was to go get a degree and go to school. I forgot my degree yet. I still got to work on that. I left 1 year early. So Dad, thanks for everything. Thank you. Just reflecting a bit on my time in the league, I was 15 and 16 years old, and it wasn't easy. I think of the lessons that you take at certain times in your life. Playing against you during the playoffs, I came back from a broken femur. I got two-handed that year, broke my femur, came back and played against guys that are up to 20 years old. Scary at times, and I think we practiced at 10 p.m. at Bramley Arena that year. But at 10 p.m., I think we started at 10 p.m. Start, and then the games. And my point in saying that is, if I think back, you develop different parts of your personality as you go in life, and as I talk about this time in my life, and I think about you guys, kids. Resiliency and adversity. It was a time for me that it really developed that part of my personality. Because, again, I'm not going to sit here and say it was all that glorious, my time in this league. It was tough. It was a tough league. There was tons of fighting. There was tons of physical targeting and intimidation. It was hard. We had hard coaches. We had challenging times, and so, life's gonna give you adversity at times. And I appreciate my time in this league because it gave me that opportunity to develop that part of my personality that I wasn't going to be stopped, and that resiliency. So that's my message or theme for the speech today, other than just appreciation for everything, all the coaches and players. That'll be my message to you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Baron Rings, the OJHL, and our host here, the Hilton Garden Inn, Toronto Oakville. And thanks to our OJHL selection committee that put so much thought and work into making this all possible. The committee makes sure that not only the history of the league is recognized, but that it will live on forever, and the inductees will forever be memorialized in the OJHL Hall of Fame. It is a great site. Be sure to check it out. It is at OJHLHallOfFame.ca. I can't say enough about the site. It's where you can find out more about the Hall, the history of the OJHL, the past award winners, champions, records, so much more. So be sure to check it out. It gets better every year as we continue to include more great players and individuals and honor them with these awards. So thank you for coming. And before everybody leaves, if we can just ask all of the honorees to come forward for some pictures, and there'll be pictures with the family. But again, thank you very much, and can't wait to see you back here for the class of 2026.